might not like it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode.
Never mind, I'll find someone like you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. Listen, some of y'all thought, Evan, is it dead? Did you just go on and stop the podcast without saying goodbye? And listen, baby Billy, I would never leave you like that. Why? Because I'm selfless. All right. Shout out to the Righteous Gemstones. Shout out to Fallout. Shout out to just every shout out there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. Okay. If it's your first time ever being here, welcome. Hang out for a bit. Maybe after 30 minutes, you'll realize you've wasted your time, and that's 30 minutes you'll never get back. Okay. Here's something crazy to get into right off the fucking rip. Okay. Time is ending. Okay. It's running out for all of us. Okay. Every now and then you stop and you think and you go, wow, this shit is just flying by. Okay. And then this is what's fucked up. This is why people, I think you just think you have so much time. You think that, with the way that I'm getting into this, you just feel like I'm going to announce that I have some terminal illness. Listen, your boy, healthy. Okay. Might have eaten a little too many chips, this past week, but that's fine. That's just a little sodium. I just might look a little puffy in the cheeks, and that's fine. I'll deal with those consequences. Okay. I'll get in the sauna and sweat it out. All right. Time waits for no one. Okay. And it goes quick. And that's what I'm realizing. I was, where was I? Another sign of old age. Okay. I was at a MMA fight years back, and I was talking to Eddie Bravo, name drop. Okay. And I remember he was talking about him having his kid and how it was crazy for him to be thinking about that. And that he was like, just being like, dude, it's crazy that like I have to take care of a human when I'm just a kid myself. He was like, dude, I have the same brain as when I was like 15. And at the time I didn't get it. At the time I was like, all right, yeah, totally. But like, as I become an old man in my life and just aging into my mid 30s, okay, you really just start like, it's the same thing. I have the same operating system. I'm still dumb. Okay. Like I just might have some new skills and maybe just a little bit smarter. Listen, you ever want to get humbled? Go look through some old messages. Go look at Facebook memories. Okay. And you see how dumb you really were. Okay. Not as dumb as these kids on colleges now though, because this is just so dumb. But you just realize that you do have the same brain. Like not a lot has changed in the sense of, like a complete upgrade and I'm a different person now that I'm an adult. Okay. And that's what I realized. I apologize to every 25-year-old, every 30-year-old, every 35-year-old when I was like 14 and they would be somewhere and I'd be like, you're a fucking dinosaur, dude. What the fuck are you doing here? Go read a history book before you're in it, dude. It just goes fast. That's what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Don't wait till tomorrow to do what you need to do. Okay. To go after that dream, to go after that goal. Just get after it. Okay. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Live your life. Have fun. Don't wait. Okay. Because it's not promised. All right. It's like we forget that we're just spinning on a planet in the universe. We're just spinning through. I saw a video recently of what we think is happening with the solar system, way it's rotating and everything happening. And then the reality that we're just like, and the solar system is just like, we're just all revolving around the sun or whatever. Anyway, I wasn't very good at school. Okay. Listen, a lot going on. All right. Will the podcast end? I don't think so. I took a couple weeks off to really assess and see what I wanted to do, but I don't think I'm going to end the podcast. All right. I was contemplating just moving to just shorter YouTube videos, which I'm going to do. But I also like the idea of just chatting, and I sound like Garth Brooks. the idea of just breaking down the walls, all right, and just talking direct and just having fun and just speaking the mind, all right, ladies and gentlemen. That's just what we do here at Evan Lopez Incorporated, all right. A lot of things happening in the world, a lot of big things. Are we going to a world war? Always crazy that shit starts breaking out right before a big election. Who's going to try to steal the election this year? It's like funny to talk about, but it's also very scary at the same time, like everything that's going on. But also, things reset. All right. Things are going to happen. The grid's going to fail. We're going to go back to the apocalypse. We're going to go back to it because we've been here before. That's also another thing. How many times have we lived through this in the simulation? Okay. Anyway, we're getting crazy. Let's talk about some stuff in reality. All right. The thing that everybody's been discussing, and I probably should have jumped into this immediately. This Drake versus Kendrick Lamar beef. All right, now listen, your boy has roots in the hip hop rap game. I still got it, baby. Okay, at the end of the day, I can still rip it. I can still rap it. Them things just don't go away. Okay, I can hit you with the summer lama, do my luma. You assuming I'm a human. What I gotta do to get it through to you? I'm superhuman, innovative, and I'm in a represent. Listen. I love a good hip hop beef. Okay, if you don't know, if you've been living under a rock, Kendrick Lamar. First of all, it all started with J. Cole and Drake. Here's the thing. J. Cole, he's my artist of the decade. Maybe Eminem's like kind of my top, like, you know, who I really over my lifetime have probably listened to the most music and just like really loved like his career and his story and his arc and what he's done for this long, the longevity, undeniable. Okay. First hip hop artist I ever listened to was Tupac when I was a little kid. My siblings would be listening to it, and I had a cousin who really loved Tupac, and he would make me rap Tupac and learn the words to the songs. I didn't say them all, even back then. Okay, I was always ahead of my time, and I knew. I said I shouldn't say this, is what I definitely said. Okay. Tupac Hellraiser. When I was like 7 years old, I knew all the words to Tupac Hellraiser. All right. Razor. Hell motherfucking yeah. This will go out to my homie Mike Cooley. Hell yeah. Born thuggin', heartless and mean, mugging at 16 on the scene, watching fiends bugging, kicking up dust with the older G's. Listen, I ain't never touched a gat that I couldn't shoot. I learned not to trust a bitch from the prostitute, was taught lessons. Anyway, listen. We're coming in hot today. All right. This beef. What I'm telling you is I enjoy a good beef, all right? I don't know how much I like what's happening now. Kendrick Lamar and Drake, they got very personal. I enjoy a good rap battle. I want to hear the bars. I want to hear the punchlines. I want y'all to flex. Keep it on the surface, okay? It's gotten way too personal. It's gotten way too into it. And some weird allegations and things just going back and forth. It got too serious. Icarus, we flew too close to the sun. For my liking, because now I'm seeing the video that one of Drake's security guards just got shot outside of his house. Is it related? How could it not be? Okay. Hey, it's a me. Eminem and Ja Rule. Great beef. Okay. Kept it on wax. Music. All right. Got too personal. Listen. Here's how crazy everything has gotten and how quick things escalate. Ja Rule mentioned Haley, Eminem's daughter. And me claiming my mother's a crackhead and Kim is a known slut. So what's Haley gonna be when she grows up? That was like the wildest shit that ever happened back in the early 2000s. Okay, that was our 9/11. Never forget when Ja Rule mentioned Haley's name. All right, Eminem went insane. Fast forward to now, Kendrick Lamar is writing a verse to Adonis, Drake's son. He's literally saying, hey, Adonis. He literally just writes this whole thing to him. And then also Drake's apparent daughter. And then they've just, it got too dark. It got weird. Yeah, You know how when your friends are fighting in front of each other? Listen, when your friends are fighting in front of each other, like in a relationship, and it's almost cute, it's fun. No, it's not. It's never cute. I don't want to push anybody out to keep thinking, oh, people think it's funny when we fight. It's draining. It's just draining and exhausting to be around couples who fight. But there's a little bit of humor that comes with it when it's playful. When it's like, okay, but you always leave the cups out. Well, I just think cups should be easy access. This is a conversation I'm having with myself of things I've done. There's something playful and you're like, oh, yeah. But then when it takes a weird turn where it's like, well, maybe if your mom wasn't fucking such a bitch, we wouldn't have these intimacy problems and you could get it up and all this stuff. And then you're just like, all right, well, this just took a dark turn. Now this just got real. I feel uncomfortable and I just don't want to be part of this anymore. It's not fun. Okay. It's like your friend in college who just gets too drunk. First, it starts out, they're a blast and a half, and they're on the dance club going crazy. And then they just are like the life of the party. And then 30 minutes later, you're watching them grab other people's drinks that are empty on tables and trying to finish up the little remnants of liquid that's left in the bottom. They're eating people's olives from empty martini glasses, just trying to keep the party going. And you're just like, well, now this is sad. All right. And that's what this rap beef has gotten into. I didn't mean to drop my pen, but I have another one here. That's where we've hit in this rap beetle. This rap beetle, dude. That's what I'm gonna call it from now on. It's a rap beetle because this shit just bugs me. Bars. Okay. Still got them on deck. I wish it would just stay on rappability. Okay, because it started off that way. I sneezed. I'm allergic to this shit. It's that cedar fever slowly killing me in Texas. Anywho, bless me. I love just seeing like people like, and I think people love this shit. Like when it becomes this kind of toxic rap beef. What are we doing here? What are we doing with here? I don't want it to go any further than it already is. I just want them to diss each other with their clothes, with the record sales, with their ability rapping. I want that to be on display in a rap beef. Okay. I want to see you completely just talk about this person, but showcase those skills. If you say you're better, which that's where this all originated from. Listen, I caught myself. Here's a part of growth, saying that I am the same kid I was when I was younger. I realized I was ear beating my wife about this. Listen, do you know how far back I have to go? Because I'm telling her, straight up. And the first time I go, yo, fucking Drake just dissed Kendrick Lamar. Push-ups. All right, I'm telling her, he said this shit to her. And my wife, very sweet human, she goes, wow, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. Hey. Then I'm like, yo, Kendrick just said this. Kendrick just dropped this, and this is what it was. And oh my God. She's like, oh wow. And then I'm like, yo, Drake responded. And he took the van from Kendrick's music video, but then Kendrick responded like 20 minutes later. So like, did he just go in the studio freestyle that, or did he have it ready to go knowing what it was going to be about? And then Drake took this turn and then it got weird. Not Like Us might be one of the greatest diss songs of all time in hip hop. It is like an ether level, iconic level, rap beef. Okay. But to understand all of this, when I say I'm like ear beating my wife, you have to go back in time and you have to understand what happened on First Person Shooter with J. Cole, where it's weird. This all sparked with a compliment. Okay. Cause he said, people are wondering who's the big three. Is it Aubrey? Is it Kendrick or me? Like he was saying like, yo, Kendrick's in the discussion for the top three. Kendrick came out. Fuck the big three. It's just big me. Okay. And then he did kind of diss Eminem or Drake, but J. Cole did come back with a diss. 7 Minute Drill is a phenomenal diss song. Okay. he did it phenomenally. He took a great angle, and J. Cole's a genius, but he's such a pure soul, and I love that he bowed out. Here is an unpopular opinion. J. Cole bowing out of this beef was the best thing he could have done, and also just the best thing for his character and who he is. A lot of people didn't want him to do it, and they're saying he's a pussy. No. J. Cole being J. Cole, and that's like what's so beautiful about this man, okay? Homo, okay? I say homo now because it's no longer about being no homo. It's about being homo in my book. I thought it was a great way to bow out of it. I love J. Cole, his music, more of a poet, if you will, which is always the gayest thing that someone can say about hip hop and rap. Be like, he's more of a, like, his music's really like poetry. It's really like poetry, the way the message, you know? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I did miss you. You know, yeah, I'm talking to you, baby. Not doing the podcast. I did miss putting out the podcast and, you know, getting the feedback and people listening to it. I realize there's a lot with doing the podcast that I thoroughly just enjoy. And also it is great for riffing on stage. Doing a podcast, this is like the one benefit that I do see objectively, is you can kind of riff on stage and you work on that muscle from just having to try to keep something going for this long and just it coming out of nowhere. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't really write things down. Sometimes I'll have some topics and things I want to talk about where I'm like, oh, I could talk about this or something crazy happened. But we got nothing. Okay. We have the J. Cole and Kendrick beef. That's what's been dominating my algorithm for the past week. Okay. And the roast to Tom Brady. All right. Listen, Tom Brady might be the greatest loser there ever was. All right. Tom Brady might be the Christmas Story. Is that the one with Scrooge? Old Man Scrooge or whatever it is? Is that the Christmas Story? A Christmas Carol? Ebenezer Scrooge, right? Tom Brady might be what happens when a super winner is just too focused on winning. All right. This is why, like, part of my thing when I say I'm getting older and stuff is realizing how unimportant things outside of the people that care about you and you care about. I love relationships, and that can be friendships, that can be whatever. Like, I care so much about the people I care about. I care so much about ideas, about people who believe in the same kind of things, people who want to, like, I love, one thing I like about Texas is, for the most part, there's a lot of people that really respect the idea of preserving liberty, not just their agenda. I've hung out with some older people who grew up in Texas. I'm talking about even in their 80s, and I've had discussions with them and like what makes Texas so special, because I am someone who's came from a different state to Texas, and Texas is so prideful, and Texas is truly amazing. Okay. There's a lot of Texans and traditions and ideas here that are just truly amazing. Okay. And one of the things that I really loved was that I was told it doesn't matter what your political beliefs are. It just matters that you care about preserving everyone's right to choose their own political beliefs. That whether you like it or not, that person can believe that because we believe in you having that liberty, which I think is amazing and kind of matches up really well with what I think about life and what I think we should all work towards preserving. I think we should all work towards preserving everybody's right to do what they want, as long as what you're doing doesn't hurt people, and it makes you fulfilled and you have happiness and you accomplish everything that you want to do. I support it 100%. So there's like a lot of kinship with people I don't even really know, but it's like a community of like-minded thinkers. That's how I look at the world. And that's why I try to be good to people I don't even know. If I see someone who, you know, you just try to be good because you're like, oh, that's someone else on their own path. Okay, they're working towards their own version of what I'm working towards. And I want to be a good person to them, and, you know, they'll be a good person to me, hopefully. But like, that side doesn't matter. That's like another thing that I've really tried to work on and hone in on, is like how other people treat and what they do doesn't really matter to me. It just matters what my output is with the world and what I want it to be, if that makes sense. Anywho, real Goombaya shit, dude. I'm so fucking Goombaya. It's fucking crazy, dude. This podcast sponsored by LaCroix. Raz Cranberry. Anyway, what we were talking about. So all that Goombaya shit to say, Tom Brady's a fucking freak, dude. We need to get him out of the world. All right, he's nothing. He is someone that reminds you that there's super winners out there that will win at all costs. All right. Sometimes I think with like comedy and stuff like that, there's a trade-off. I'm around a lot of comedians, and there's a trade-off to everything. I don't like put myself in a box of being like, oh, I need to be this and I need to do this, and the rigidity of like, this idea is what it is. Very vague. I don't look at a path and be like, oh, this is a trade-off. Like, there's trade-offs with everything you do. And for me with comedy, there was like, obviously like early on, I always was like, man, I wish I would have found comedy earlier, or be like, oh, I wish I would have started this many, like 10 years ago, I would have been here. But then I also look at that, and this is like why you can't have regrets, is you're like, if I had have done that, I wouldn't have this skill set. I wouldn't have gone down the path of doing video production for 7, 8 years, 10 years before that. I wouldn't have discovered music. And I mean, music got me through like some super hard times in my life. But I wouldn't be this like more dynamic character if I had just got into this thing and been like one particular thing. Okay. Because I feel like in the end of everything, it's going to all equate, and all those experiences and things that you have add up to be that one thing. Okay. And I mean, there's tons of things that you do, and there's payoffs and trade-offs for every choice you make. And it's crazy to think that there's someone who, in so many eyes, considered the greatest of all time when it comes to being a football player. Tom Brady. He might be the greatest quarterback of all time. He's definitely in that discussion. Granted, I don't know that much about football, but that's just, you hear it so much, and obviously his accomplishments speak for themselves. But his wife was just like, stop playing football. Please stop playing football. It's us or football. And he was like, I'll see you later. I'm going to practice. Granted, who knows what the real story is besides, I mean, she's hooking up with her jiu-jitsu coach, which if you saw the roast of Tom Brady, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Okay. So it was the best roast that I've ever seen. All right. This was the best one by far. None of them came close because none of them were live. And that's something that they did amazing, was not edit this. I think it wasn't edited. It seemed like it was just live, that they really just like what happened. They just aired it. And it was a very real and some great jokes, edgy jokes, which was crazy. Tony Hinchcliffe murdered. Listen, Tony Hinchcliffe murdered with the roast jokes that he had. But I thought everybody, Nikki Glaser might be one of the most underrated writers in stand-up. She is amazing at roasting, and just a great podcast guest. If you've seen her on like Joe Rogan, Nikki Glaser is hilarious. Underappreciated, I think. But what were we saying? Tom Brady traded it all just to play another season in football. His wife, his kids, he traded it all just to go, what was it, 8-10, whatever it was. which is crazy. And it shows you, it's like, yeah, all that can be great. But when it's all said and done, what are you going to have, Tom Brady? And you know what the true answer is? Any model, any life that he wants. That's the catch of it, is because we want to be like, yeah, but you're going to end up with nothing. Now, what he's going to end up with is every model that he ever wants, plus plenty of free time. Okay. Now here's the catch. Is that what you want? Is that what makes you happy? Okay. Is that what makes you satisfied? What is that? I obviously have never won anything on the scale of what Tom Brady has won. And that feeling of walking out in a Super Bowl and winning, just at the chance of having that again, apparently might be worth losing your family and kids. Isn't that a crazy thing that we might not understand? That you're just like, well, how good could it be? And Tom Brady might be the only one who really knows it. How good must it feel the first time? Well, what about the second time, the third time, the fourth time? Okay. Then how good would it possibly feel if it happens when they say it couldn't happen again? Giselle never made you feel like that. Okay. Yeah, that's such a crazy concept. But I'll be honest with you. When he was doing his roast, he also got mad at Jeff Ross during his roast. He started, he did not like that Jeff Ross said some shit about Robert Kraft. There was a joke about a massage or something that happened. I don't really know the details. But Tom Brady was like, don't say that shit again. And Jeff Ross was like, okay. It was just one of those moments where it's just odd, very awkward. But you know who I was really impressed with, and rightfully so? Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart hosted the shit out of this roast show. Okay. You almost start forgetting how much of a comedian Kevin Hart is. And I know that's silly to say. Okay. But Kevin Hart has not been doing the stand-up circuit that you see a lot of these comedians that are also podcasters. He kind of went the Hollywood route because he was so good at stand-up and just this amazing entertainer that why wouldn't he? A lot of comedians want to be like, no, I'm a fucking comedian. I don't do that Hollywood stuff. They would drop it all at the drop of a hat to be making 15, 20 million doing some of these movies, 30, 40 million. They're just going to turn their back on that. They're not going to get bored one day and be like, I want to do more dynamic stuff than just stand up. But hosting this roast and just his ability to riff and just keep entertainment going was literally like, he truly is one of the GOATs. Okay. He has a couple of the specials that might be in the top 10 of all time specials, at least one of his specials. Sorry, I don't know what's happened to my voice. I think cigarettes are catching up. Where are we at with time, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, if you haven't seen the roast, I would see it. Hilarious, entertaining. It was like 3 hours long. You can fast forward through the NFL players and Gronk, who was like the butt of all the jokes. It was hilarious. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. If you're in the Austin area, every week, Friday night show, 6 p.m., Daywalkers comedy show. It is a comedy show for those who don't want to be up till midnight. Okay, listen. I do stand-up comedy. It couldn't be a worse field for me. Your boy is a sleepy little goose, okay? You ever see cartoons of like geese laying in bed with little like sleeping hats on and they're just like, that's me. I see those pictures and I'm like, God, I want to be that goose, okay? I just want that in my life, okay? So I made a comedy show for people who don't like to be out late, all right? 6 p.m., show finishes up around 7:45. And it's a great way. You have the rest of your night. If you want to go out, if you want to go home, whatever you want to do, check it out. Link on my social media. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for listening. We're going to keep the pod going. But subscribe on YouTube because there's more videos and stuff coming out. And remember, no matter what, I still love you.